Al-Nazir was never meant to grow. It was surrounded by desert, built from coarse stone and laws harsher than its own walls. No one came there by choice. Those born within its limits were born into a life of vigilance. Those who arrived did so in chains. When a man breaks the law, he is sent to prison. If he reoffends, he is moved to a stricter ward. But if the offense becomes habit, if he no longer fears confinement or obeys fear itself, then he is sent to the confinement room, a prison within the prison, a room so utterly dark it seems to press against the body, suffocating breath. It was said that in that chamber, the absence of light gave rise to an inner blindness, one deeper than the physical. The soul, stripped of its window to the world, folds inward, confronted by the mirrors of a consciousness devoid of illusions. There, days lose their shape. The body weakens. The sense of self begins to dissolve. And when the body can no longer resist, the mind defends itself in the only way it can, by creating another reality. As the sole physician in Al-Nazir prison, I've tended to every man who's returned from that room. While I clean their wounds and check their pulse, some of them tell me what they saw inside. Not all remember clearly, but most agree on one thing. After the hunger, the darkness, and the trembling, comes a light, then another. And after a while, those lights begin to weave themselves into images, complete scenes. One told me he rode a comet alongside his daughter, standing on the roof of a house in Basra. Another said he returned to the fields where he once learned to harvest saffron flowers with his brothers. Some walked through covered markets, surrounded by laughter and scents. One man wept as he told me he had reunited with a woman he thought he had forgotten, and for the first time was able to look her in the eyes without guilt. None of them spoke like madmen. Their words were vivid, as if they had truly been there. It wasn't witchcraft, nor was it madness. It was something I knew well. It was called Charles Bonnet syndrome. I first heard of it shortly after finishing medical school, when I began my internship at the General Hospital. That's where I met Mrs. Manat, an elderly woman, lucid and articulate, who insisted she saw reptiles enter her room each night. She claimed the animals crossed the floor and hid beneath the furniture to escape the cold. I listened with skepticism, but an older doctor explained to me, Mrs. Manat has advanced cataracts. Her eyes no longer perceive a clear image of the world, so her brain fills in the blanks with pictures from her memory. That's what the mind does. What it cannot see, it invents. That phrase stayed with me. The brain cannot live without stimuli or information. So when there is no light, no shape, no signal from the outside world, it creates its own reality. That, I believed, was the most extraordinary thing of all, a feat of human capacity until he arrived.